Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. I'm Carla Elizondo. We're continuing the reading of Awakened Imagination by Neville Goddard. We're on chapter 7. Let's dive in. So, Creation is Finished is the title of the chapter. I am the beginning and the end. There is nothing to come that has not been and is. Blake saw all possible human situations as already made states. He saw every aspect, every plot and drama as already worked out as mere possibilities. As long as we are not in them, but as overpowering realities when we are in them. He describes these states as sculptures of Los's halls. Distinguishing therefore states from individuals in those states. States change, but individual identities never change nor cease. The imagination is not a state. It is the human existence itself. Affection or love becomes a state when divided from imagination. All right. William Blake, again, opens up with, he conceptualized all possible human situations. So every situation, the possibility of any situation as already made states. They're already done. Remember, creation is finished. When you dream of a future for yourself, how your life's going to be, there is a place that exists. It's an actual place. You can go there in your imagination. If you close your eyes and feel it, there's an actual place. First, it starts here. That's how you start with any dream. Then you actually create it. One day you will physically be in it. But it starts here first. We don't just wait for it, and then it appears. We have to hold it here first. Just how important this is to remember is almost impossible to say, but the moment the individual realizes this for the first time is the most momentous in his life. And to be encouraged to feel this is the highest form of encouragement it is possible to give. Okay. Wow. Okay. So he was saying, imagination is not a state. It is the human experience itself. Remember Descartes, I think, therefore I am. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Are we dreaming all of this? We really create our reality by our imagination inside, and then we just look out and see the reflection of it. So the imagination is not a state. It is the human existence itself. Affection or love becomes a state when divided from imagination. Just how important this is to remember is almost impossible to say, but the moment the individual realizes for the first time is the most momentous moment in their life. And to be encouraged to feel this is the highest form of encouragement it is possible to give. So he's encouraging us to stay in that reality, the world, the real reality, the world behind our eye. This truth is common to all people, but the consciousness of it, and much more, the self-consciousness of it, is another matter. The day I realized this great truth, that everything in my world is a manifestation of the mental activity which goes on within me, and that the conditions and circumstances of my life only reflect the state of consciousness with which I am fused, is the most momentous in my life. But the experience that brought me to this certainty is so remote from ordinary existence, I have long hesitated to tell it, for my reason refused to admit the conclusions to which the experience impelled me. Nevertheless, this experience revealed to me that I am supreme within the circle of my own state of consciousness, and that it is the state with which I am identified that determines what I experience. Let's soak that in. Nevertheless, that experience when he realized his imagination was the center. I got the wind blowing in my hair. I got a new haircut. Okay, I digress. Okay, let's behave. Okay, we're not going to behave? Whatever. It says, nevertheless, this experience revealed to me that I am supreme within the circle of my own state of consciousness. And that is the state with which I am identified that determines what I experience. Therefore, it should be shared with all, for to know this is to become free from the world's greatest tyranny, the belief in second cause. To believe that there's causes outside of ourself that dictate our experience. And remember the difference between how we experience things, not events themselves. Everybody is creating realities. And we might be witnessing a horrific reality. Did we cause that? No, that person caused it. But our reaction to it is our responsibility, and our reaction will create more causes. That's what, right now, as of Wednesday, September 8th, the best, and excuse my gardeners, the best description of kind of when we talk about law, cause and effect, the law of attraction, did we attract something? We surely attract every experience of something, although we do not always attract or cause the event. It's not so simple to understand it. I believe in the law of attraction. What you think about, you create. There are natural disasters, earthquakes, fires, all sorts of things. You never know why. The bigger scope, the bigger picture, we don't understand so much. And I remember one time trying to really wrestle with this because it's a thought, because you can say, well, did someone attract that abuse? Did someone attract that horrific situation? We have personalities. We attract on an everyday level, but what if there was a bigger, I believe there's a soul attraction level that that I came here to learn certain lessons and attract certain things so that I could live. They're the tools that I need in this lifetime to carry out and to learn. We all have lessons to learn. Everybody, this is just my thoughts. But I believe that there's so much more going on. If we just look at it for face value, we always lose. We get frustrated. We don't understand, because looking at it, you can't understand it. You have to go beyond what we can see with the five senses. There's just a huge game, a huge story being told. That's beyond, as much as we like to think we know everything, we have it all figured out. No, the best description I heard was, science has only discovered, every cell, molecule, atom, 99.999% is empty space. We haven't figured out what that empty space is. So only 0.1 we have figured out. And so I think it was Sadhguru who was talking on a podcast that said, picture life in the universe as a 1,000,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. We've found about 3 or 5 pieces and put it together to form a certain picture and said, I see it. I figured it out. It's like there's 1,000,000 other pieces that we haven't even fathomed or got close to touching. So it's quite arrogant of anybody to think they have it figured out. That's why every day I'm learning and growing and expanding my ideas. So my ideas might change, but for now, all I know to be true about my life, and I'm not supposed to figure it out for anybody else. I'm not supposed to understand or wrap my brain around it for anybody else. I can only understand it for me. And for me, I can only control my response or reaction to anything that comes my way. Period. So I am responsible for my experience of anything. If I go in with a crap attitude, looking for everything that's wrong and everything I don't agree with, I will find it. If I go in with a good attitude, looking for everything that's right and that I agree with, I'll find it. We're right either way. We're right either way. It's literally how we're wired. We will see what we want to see. That's confirmation bias. And that's okay. But is what you're seeing and the way you're thinking, is it producing results in your life that lead you to peace and happiness and joy and a fulfilled life? If the answer is no, be honest with yourself and say, okay, I'm open. If you don't know where to start, just start with, I'm willing to see things in a different way. I surrender. I'm willing for something new to come my way to teach me understand a little bit deeper. But regardless, just like that quote I said the other day, you don't have to be sick to get better. You don't have to be sick to get better. We can just keep getting better. And this has this whole thing about, he says, I am supreme within the circle of my own state of consciousness. That's from our book. Well, it's from Thomas Troward, but Genevieve B. Rand, Your Invisible Power. She really talks about his quote from that book. You know, my mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. You should really memorize that. And so it will always constantly produce conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. So that whole concept of my mind is a center of divine operation. Your mind is a center of divine operation. My mind is a center of divine operation. We are a nucleus to our universe. We are the home cell, and we create from out of us. We are a universe. We literally are a big bang. When we were born, we were a big bang, and now we're evolving and growing and expanding, whether we like it or not. But are we expanding in a negative, toxic way that kills everything around us, including ourselves? Or are we expanding in a way that helps and heals and produces good wherever we go? That was a long rant. Okay. So it says, therefore it should be shared. Okay, he's going to share. Okay. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are they whose imagination has been so purged of the beliefs in second causes, they know that imagination is all, and all is imagination. And remember, Neville talks about imagination being God. Our human imagination is God. So blessed are they whose imagination has been so purged of beliefs that there are any other sources than imagination. Imagination is all, and all is imagination. One day, I quietly slipped from my apartment in New York City into some remote yesteryear's countryside. As I entered the dining room of a large inn, I became fully conscious. I knew that my physical body was immobilized on my bed back in New York. Yet, here I was as awake and as conscious as I had ever been. I intuitively knew that if I could stop the activity of my mind, everything before me would freeze. No sooner was that thought born than the urge to try it possessed me. I felt my head tighten, then thicken to a stillness. My attention concentrated into a crystal clear focus, and the waitress walked not. And I looked through the window, and the leaves falling fell not. And the family afore eating ate not. And they lifting the food lifted it not. Then my attention relaxed, the tightness eased, and all of a sudden all moved onward in their course. The leaves fell, the waitress walked, and the family ate. Then I understood Blake's vision of the sculptures of Los's halls. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Oh, that's nice. So he sent us to collect where we did not work. The work has been done because creation is finished. We don't got to create. And that's another thing. We don't have to create anything. We just have to allow it to come through us. Creation is finished. Remember, if you have a desire or an urge to create something, it already exists. We just have to get our minds in alignment to follow through until it comes into physical form. Remember, iPhone. Jesus could have had an iPhone. Everything in this phone existed since the beginning of time. The plastic, the glass, the metal, the technology that's required. The only thing that was missing back then was the human vessel with which it came through. Arranging all of these things in a way that it would be able to be in my hand today. And it wasn't necessary, right? Every human being is born and creates within their time. Like Steve Jobs was not born 2000 years ago. They did not need iPhones. But who created, the printing press and ink and pens and paper and parchment and realized how to write and stuff? That's the whole thing. Our minds are divine center of operation, a center of divine operation, always for expansion and fuller expression. So wild as it is, these phones that we know as today, these little computers we hold with us, are going to be obsolete. Who knows, maybe in 15, 20 years, there's going to be something else. Somebody else will have another idea of how to communicate. It says, I am the beginning and the end. Oh yeah, creation is finished. I am the beginning and the end. There is nothing to come that has not been seen as is. Did I already read this? Nope. Okay. The world of creation is finished, and its original is within us. We saw it before we set forth, and have since been trying to remember it and to activate sections of it. There are infinite views of it. Our task is to get the right view, and by determined direction of our attention, make it pass in procession before the inner eye. If we assemble the right sequence and experience it in imagination, so if we assemble the right sequence and experience it in imagination until it has the tone of reality, then we consciously create circumstances. This inner procession is the activity of imagination that must be consciously directed. We, by a series of mental transformations, become aware of increasing portions of that which already is, and by matching our own mental activity to that portion of creation which we desire to experience, we activate, resurrect it, and give it life. So it's like, just imagine, we are given tools. We come into this world, we're given every single thing we need, every single thing we would ever desire or need, past, future, present, whatever. We just have to go into the storehouse and find it and give it life and breathe life into it and animate it. If it wasn't possible, we wouldn't think it. If, the desires of our heart are knocks at the door. Okay, this is your no homework assignment. And we say, oh, I like that, but I don't know. We doubt ourselves. Just think of God in the universe as the most divine teacher, giving you the perfect homework assignment for you. You wouldn't have been given the assignment if you weren't capable of bringing it to fruition. The only thing that stops us is us. Desire is proof that you can do it. The fact that you have the desire is proof that you can do it. What's stopping you? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it past mistakes? Lack of self-confidence? The fear of what other people will say, the fear of being humiliated, the fear of looking stupid, the fear of making changes, the fear of making other people uncomfortable, the fear of making decisions that you can't take back? What's holding you back from bringing the desires in your heart to life, to actual reality? What's holding you back? It was given to you for a reason. So it says, the world of creation is finished and it's original within us. Okay. This inner procession of imagination, by closing your eyes and putting it, just really getting there in imagination, this inner process is the activity of imagination that must be consciously directed. We, by a series of mental transformations, become aware of increasing portions of that which already is, and by matching our own mental activity to that portion of creation which we desire to experience, we activate it, resurrect it, and give it life. I'm going to stop right there. That was really good. There's only one more chapter after this, but creation is finished. I love that. It's already all done for us. It's like we were given a field, say we're looking on our life, like say blank slate, we look at it as a field, and every seed is underground. We just have to water it and nourish it and give it light, and it'll pop up. We don't have to do the work of finding the seed and planting it. It's already been done for us. And remember, we don't all have the same desires. I don't have the same desires as you. You don't have the same desires of me as me. Like I said, I don't have a desire to win the Stanley Cup. I don't have a desire to go knit and crochet. I just don't have that desire. Other people do. We all have unique desires. We've all been given unique assignments that it's our job to get over ourselves, to grow, to push, to learn daily, to bring our desires to fruition. And those true desires of your heart usually are for the health and benefit of not just for you, but for the people around you, and probably ultimately the world. So this is my call to action, to really think about, journal about, what do you really want? What are some desires that are knocking at your heart, that are knocking at your soul, that don't leave you alone after all these years, keep coming back? What can you do today to take steps in that direction, to bringing that desire to a little bit more of reality? Breathe a little life into it, resurrect it, give it a little CPR. You might have a dream that has been lost for years. You might have given up. But if it's still, there's still a spark there, it is in you, it will never go away. Trust me. There's a few things in my life that I thought they were dead and buried, and they creep back up. I'm like, you again? Oh my God, I can't get away from you. I'm going to have to enter that cave. And our desires usually are in areas of growth that we fear the most. It's like that whole Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey. The cave you fear to enter is the cave that holds all of the treasures you desire, like yesterday's message. Everything we want is on the other side of fear. Just be willing to think of things differently. Always a pleasure. Love y'all. My link, all the ways to contact me or schedule a call if you want to know a little bit more about what I do, join in any of the morning calls, or join that 6-month program that I teach. My link is in my bio page. On my profile page. I would love to hear from you or answer any questions you have. So as always, have a wonderful Wednesday.